Hi, welcome to Freezer Meals 101. I am Christy.
And I'm Charla. If it's your first time here, welcome.
Welcome.
Christy and I are neighbors, and when she moved in, we realized at one of our very first times meeting, not the very first time, because she came to drop off an invitation for a housewarming for them, and she had their youngest son in the wagon.
Oh yeah, I did.
He was so cute. And I was excited because they had kids, and new neighbors are always exciting. And then I went to the housewarming party. Mm-hmm. But the first time that Christy came over here to visit, where we actually had a visit, it came up. Freezer meals came up, and she did freezer meals, and I did freezer meals, and it was like,
what a funny coinky-dink.
What if we did them together?
Yes. Yeah. And the rest is kind of history, because we have done freezer meals together every 3 months for the last 10, 11 years.
It's a lot of days. It's a lot of meals.
So it just naturally progressed to here we are today telling you about how to do freezer meals, because some people don't know. So we'll tell you how to do it. Ironically, we're not really doing freezer meals today.
It's ironic.
We're doing spice blends, which you can freeze, by the way. If you didn't know, you can freeze your spices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of these actually got made because of a freezer meal, and that's kind of how this video came about. And
that's right.
This Cajun seasoning, because in our one pot freezer meals, I'm going to put a link right there. So we were doing these one pot freezer meals. Oh my goodness, they are amazing. If you make none of our other meals,
you need to make this one.
So this Cajun chicken one pot pasta. Mm-hmm. We're doing a mega session, and we're including that in it, because even though we just ate it, it doesn't matter. So it's one of our new favorites. But Christy was making this meal, and she could not find the Cajun
You were
seasoning.
either on a call or at an appointment, and she wasn't here, and I was doing the other one, and I was doing this Cajun pasta, and I'm like, I know she has Cajun seasoning, but can we show them?
Yeah, sure.
So here's Charlotte's spice cupboard, and it's pretty intense in here. There's a lot going on. One of us is more organized than the other. And so one of us has decided that her new title for this little partnership we have is Director of Spice Management. Because I will go through her spices and I'll amalgamate and make sure that, oh my goodness, you're not allowed to buy cumin anymore because she just keeps buying it and we have so much and we can't use it all.
It's true.
So I'm looking, and I'm spending considerable amount of time looking for Cajun seasoning. So I'm like, well, look at what I have here. So I quickly Googled, and I'm sure this probably came from All Recipes, or I don't even know where it came from. It is a very basic Cajun seasoning recipe.
Well, and you had to adapt it because I didn't even have everything.
You didn't have everything. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to film that too. So you are going to see a pre-filmed recording. This was filmed previously of this Cajun seasoning. And because she had all the stuff, most of the stuff, so I'm like, I'll just make my own, I guess. So she finally comes in, and I'm like, I have been tearing that was also the one with the peppers.
Yes.
Because you didn't have the tomatoes, so we ended up using the peppers, and that's what ended up making it so good.
That's what made it such a good recipe. Yes.
And so I'm like, you don't have any Cajun seasoning? She's like, of course I do. Look it. It's it's right here. No, it isn't. Did it get moved, Charlotte?
It got moved, but it used to be. It's
right here.
Yeah, there.
Because she's got lots of kids, and the oldest likes to hoard this for himself.
Yes, he does.
From the boy who's third boy. Yes. Because he'll use it all on him. So he hides it back here every time so he can't use it up on him.
Okay, he likes to use it in his hash browns.
And I couldn't...
When you have a large family, we've got 7 kids, they get creative.
Yes.
And about how to keep, have things
stuff
for themselves.
From your...
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's how the Cajun seasoning came about. And then a while back we did a video with taco seasoning,
shawarma,
and Jamaican jerk.
Yeah.
And so we'll put the link there.
Yeah.
But people really liked it, actually, and we were like, "That's not a freezer meal, but okay."
I'm like, "Well,
we do make our own seasonings sometimes." So
we'll do another one.
Then when we had the Cajun one that was an accident happen, we're like, "Well, let's make a few more, and we'll make another video." So here we are.
Here we are. We're doing the Cajun seasoning. We have a few others that you're gonna love, and let's get started.
Okay. The fajita seasoning.
Fajita.
You're going to put quite a lot of cornstarch, 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, because that'll help thicken things up and make it all
creamy and cohesive, and it sticks nice. And
then some chili powder, salt, paprika, a little bit of sugar, oregano, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, and cayenne. And that's all you need. You mix that all together, put it into a freezer bag or airtight container, and you can keep it in your freezer. And then when you want to go make fajitas, and we have a really great recipe for chicken fajita sheet pan.
Yes.
We also we
have a really good beef fajita
recipe. Yeah, that one's good too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to make whatever fajita recipe you want to use, you can just use 3 tablespoons of this powder to every 1 pound of your meat strips, and voila, fajitas.
Mm-hmm. I think, and we didn't put it in the instructions here, but I think it would be like taco seasoning, where it'd be beneficial to have some moisture in there too.
Yeah,
you know, if you buy
oil.
the packet, it'll say, add in with 1/3 of a cup of water or something, so that it makes a sauce, and then you boil that water back off. But in the meantime, all that seasoning goodness is into your meat, right? It's infused. Mm-hmm. So it isn't on there, but I think that's what I would do if I was making these.
Yes. And in our beef fajitas, we actually have some salsa.
Yeah, we do.
In there, so that creates the moisture and all of that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. You're going to die for this. I didn't think that I would. It's Everything Bagel seasoning, and you're like, Christy, what are you talking about? You can buy that at Costco. Yeah, you can, but it's not as good as this. And it's by a lady named Natalie Perry from perrysplate.com. And because we were looking for what else can we do? And we thought about the Everything Bagel seasoning, and I found this one, and she said, stop. This is the best one you're going to ever have. You're never going to want anything else. And she's right. Oh my goodness. And it's so simple. So I'm going to tell you about it. This is her recipe. The link is down below. Go click on it. She's got a great site. Shout out to Natalie. 3/4 of a cup of white sesame seeds. It's okay if they're toasted. They're going to be a little heavier flavor, but that's okay. It's whatever you want. You're going to add minced onion, minced garlic, black sesame seeds. Now, if you can't find them, because sometimes it's kind of a specialty item. If you have a really good international food section at your grocery store, you might be able to find them. But if you can't, it's okay. You can add more white seasoning or white sesame seeds in this, and that's okay. You're gonna add 5 tablespoons of sea salt flakes. Now, she goes off on quite a tangent about Maldon sea salt flakes. They are a company in England who process seawater and make it into these flakes, and they're kind of like the best one, and maybe they're the only one. I don't know. You can buy it on Amazon. I had to go to the Italian Center here in town because it's kind of a specialty grocery store to even find it. And she said the reason you want to use them, and she's right, is if you used a kosher salt, it's a little heavy. It's a little too crunchy, and it doesn't feel nice in your mouth when your teeth bite down onto it. But the sea salt flakes are the right size, and they're a lot lighter, and they're pleasant to eat.
And then it's not going to all sink to the bottom.
That's the other thing. Either. Everything in here, I'm not quite done. We have 2 tablespoons of poppy seeds. So everything that's in here is roughly the same size. The poppy seeds are a little bit smaller, but when you mix it, they stay mixed. Nothing really settles to the bottom. And that's why it works. So she has a whole list of things that you can have this with. Obviously, like, I don't have Everything Bagels at home right now, so I have just been making bagels with regular cream cheese and then sprinkling the Everything Bagel seasoning on it. That's how I've been eating it. But you can add it to eggs, you can add it to avocados or avocado toast, salads, smoked salmon, lettuce wraps, sandwiches, popcorn, which is super interesting to me. I haven't done it yet. Roasted vegetables, sushi bowls, and pizza crust. Boom.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
I have a video somewhere. It's an older video. It's like of kid-friendly snacks, and I made these like little hot dogs wrapped in those Pillsbury dough things. Yeah. Like, you know, the little, but they're topped with Everything Bagel.
Ah.
And my kids really like them. And on our website, so I will put a link down below to this, we have Everything Bagel breakfast muffins. And they have the Everything Bagel seasoning and some bagels, and then you make like an egg mixture, and you know, like it's this muffin that whatever.
Totally.
So yeah, lots of uses.
I'm really glad.
Everything Bagel seasoning.
I'm so glad we did this one. I'm so glad we found this one. I love this stuff. I can see.
And isn't it great when you find someone that's like passionate about
she's
something?
She's so passionate about her bagel seasoning, but she's right.
And she's like an expert on it. Like she's become like, you know, we might be the freezer meal experts, but we're not the everything experts. So we need to seek out like the Everything Bagel expert, right?
No, we love her. This is great stuff. So good job, Natalie. Shout out to you.
And that brings us to our homemade Cajun seasoning, the one that Christy had to make because she had no choice.
I didn't know I had a choice, but I made it happen.
So the recipe originally called for smoked paprika, but I didn't have that, so she used regular paprika, and it tastes amazing like this. So either way, smoked or regular paprika. Again, it was supposed to be fine kosher salt, which I did not have, so we used regular salt, and that's okay. And this is just an example of how it's okay to, like, you know, improvise.
Freezer meals don't have to be perfect, they just have to be done. You just have to get them in your freezer.
Absolutely.
So and this whole recipe was a good example of how to improvise.
Totally.
And because of we didn't have the roasted peppers.
We live in the country, both of us. And so when we are missing an ingredient for a recipe and we're like, oh, I forgot to buy mushrooms, or I forgot, you know, whatever it is, it's not like we can just like pop into the store.
Right.
Because, you know, on a good weather day, we're at least 10 minutes from the closest store, but it's Canada. It snows a lot. So when the roads are bad, we're at least 15 minutes from the store, and then that's each way. So it's like half an hour and then the time in the store. So you're not going to go and waste all that gas and, you know, go all the way there to get one green pepper or something. So we've gotten to be really good at searching through our pantries, searching through our fridge, and improvising and figuring out
this'll work.
Other things or omitting. But honestly, sometimes we call them happy accidents.
This is a total happy accident. It is. So she didn't have the fire roasted peppers for the Cajun pasta, the Cajun chicken pasta, but she had, the fire roasted tomatoes.
Yeah.
But you had spicy pepper tomatoes.
Yes.
And
why, I don't know, but
we don't know.
But I had them.
We had no recipe that planned for them. I had never heard of them before.
I thought they looked interesting in the store, and I like to invent recipes.
Yes, she does.
You might have figured this out by now. And so I was like, I'm gonna someday make something like this.
And so we're like, let's put them in, and
it made the recipe.
It was as good as the Everything Bagel season.
Different recipes though. You don't want to mix those in the same
I bet you could put this in that. I bet you could put the Everything Bagel seasoning in the Cajun pasta. I'm gonna do it next time. Anyway, carry on with.
Okay, sorry.
I
digressed. Here we go. Cajun seasoning for real this time. Paprika, salt, garlic powder, pepper. Well, actually, you're gonna use black pepper and white pepper.
So I got to this point in the recipe and I thought, there's no way. There's no way. I'm just going to have to double the black pepper. And I started digging. darned if she didn't have some. I don't know if it's ever been open. It's blue ribbon. It is old. It is
you guys
in
have
the
seen
back
that
of the
spice
cupboard.
cupboard? Like
she had white pepper, people. And so I got to put it in there. Carry on.
Then we've got some onion powder, oregano, cayenne, and thyme. Mix all that together, put it in your freezer bag, and you can toss that in your freezer, or, of course, if you're in the middle of making a recipe that needs Cajun seasoning, you can just toss it in.
So what's funny is we're pretty passionate about our freezer meals, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, there's a story behind everything.
There is. So we thought this was going to be like a really, really short video.
Yeah, sorry.
Because it's like 3 spice blends and done. But, you know, there's stories about my son hiding the Cajun seasoning.
And me being so excited about finding white pepper, and then the happy accident with the spicy pepper tomatoes. Yes. So good.
So
really good. So thanks for joining us today.
We're going to put a video right there to some kind of like blends that we made that help you get your recipes started.
You can call them recipe starters.
Like, you can. KFC seasoning,
hamburger helper.
Yeah. So you can check that out over there. And yeah, we just appreciate you being here. You know, do the things like comment, subscribe, join the club, join our Facebook group, like all the things.
All
but
the
down
links
below.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Happy cooking.